Okay, last night we ended off with a question. I'll don't worry, I'll just go over the question. So we had a change between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. That Rabbi Yochanan said that Sarach L'Kaimo, that he said that Moed B'Shas Sekosvu, that you have to Ein Sarach L'Kaimo. You don't have to Mekayim it like Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan. And the other one said Adam. In other words, the other one said Adam. So we said the following: that you had a case where there was a question. The Kuchos, this youngster, had sold a land. He had sold the land, and consequently he died. He died, and now the Lekuchos have the land, and the Bnei Mishpacha are claiming that he was a cotton when he sold the land, and therefore the sale is not a good sale. So Rabbi Yochanan said, Bishleim, according to me, I can explain how the Lekuchos got it, right? Because you're Mekayim the star, and therefore, since you're Mekayim the star, they got it. But according to you, Reish Lakish, who requires Adim, how were they able to get it? So Reish Lakish said he's moida by a cotton that you're not going to be believed. Because if the Adim signed on the star, you have Adim on the star, Misnama, they signed on the star, it was not a cotton. Right? It wasn't a cotton. In other words, it was a big reyes so that there was a cotton on the star, and therefore Reish Lakish should be moida in this case that you're not going to believe the kind of the mishpacha this ma'arer. Right. Okay. So now we segue into that now, a sugya of a cotton, at which point regarding when's a person a cotton. So now, ostensibly, guys, we say bar mitzvah. Today I am a man. It's not true. We have a chazaka de Rava that you might be a man, but unless you bring two sarais, you're not a man. I mean, in mili de rabbanon, like making it, like laning, like getting an aliyah, you're a man. But regarding, for example, no Rav will allow a bar mitzvah boy to lane Parshasacha unless they have mutton chop signbricks, like somebody I know at his bar mitzvah. He had sideburns. So you had sideburns at your bar mitzvah that they let you lane. But a lot of people did not. A lot of people did not have them, and a lot of boys are not. It's called the chazaka de Rabbi that we say yes, but it's only mili de Rabbanon. It's not mili de Raisa. In fact, the stipler would not let in the Zimun would not let he won't let a bench. He won't let a 13-year-old bench unless again. So we take for granted to the bank 13. You're a man. Again, it's not. It's chazaka de Rava. So the sugya tonight is going to touch on when you make a sale. You go ahead and you make a sale. At which point in time you consider a gadol that it's a good sale, right? And we'll segue into other things as well. So Itmar. Cotton at which point in time is the mechira considered a mechira in the nichsei aviv? Right now, what are we speaking about? Says the Rashbam. It's important Rashbam, guys. Me'emisai go down 2 lines before it gets wide. Me'emisai moicha b'nichsei aviv b'karka oisav. We're speaking about the sale of karka. Utahavi mechirasei mechira that the sale should be a good sale. The ilu gabi metatli, if you're regarding the sale of movable items, Tanan, there's a Mishnah in Gittin, hapuutais. Putais, when the kids who reach the age of understanding, mechcha and mecha, umemchor and memcha. What they purchase, and what they buy and sell, they sell. B'metaltlin, umifarshin and hasan. We explain what age is the age of putais? Kibar sheish, kibar shev, like 6 or 7 years old. Kol chad lefum churfe. Each person according to their understanding, their charifis, their sharpness. Umishim kedei chayav tikkin l'rabbanan b'metaltlin davim mechira l'mizay noisav. And since they need food to eat, they were metaking the chachamim that their sale is a good sale. In order they should have food. But the karka not. So the question over here when it says when it say nichsei, we saw the chasim encompasses many things. It comes from metaltalim, but over here it means karka. So at which point in time is the sale of a cotton considered a karka? At which point the sale is not considered karka, considered a good sale? So we have machlokes. Rabbi Amar, Rav Nachman. Rabbi says in the name of Rav Nachman, ben shmoyne esrei shana at the age of 18. At the age of 18. Rav Huna bar Chinana Amar, Rav Nachman. So we have machlokes what Rav Nachman said. Rabbi says 18. Rav Huna bar Chinana says in the name of Rav Nachman, he says what? He says esrim. He says esrim. You take out the mem. Ben esrim, the person that's at 20. at 20 shana. Okay, says Rashbam. Then Shmoina Esrei b'yom echad. The paskinu lekamon. We're going to pass later on. Hoichsman kilifnei azman. Now, the fellas, the 18th year, when 17 going to 18, what's the din? Is it din like 18 or din like 17? And we're passing like it's 17. Therefore, it's got to be 18. It's got to be what? 18 and a day. That the 18th year should not be considered the year. Yafa, even if he's not great in business, he doesn't understand it well. Like Bas Yadal, a girl who's 14, Shayadas betiv masu mata, who understands business. It's good sale. So we're giving an age where even if the person is not he's not an expert in business, right? If he's 18 with shtei saros, that's the job. He's no longer he's a gadol. 18 with shtei saros. 18 shtei saros. According to Rav Huna, the Barchinina, it's 20 in shtei saros. It's 20 in shtei saros. Okay, so those are the two dents. Again, if at an earlier age he understands, okay, if he brings shtei saros, of course, right? Again. But we're speaking over here where, he doesn't know so well. So at some point in time, even this lack of knowledge will consider sale a sale. According to Rava, it's 18. According to Rav Huna, Rav Chinina, in the name of Rav Nachman, it is 20. Okay, says the Gemara now. We're going to bring the Maisa we saw yesterday. Maser Rav Zera. Okay, Maisa b'nei Brak. There was a Maisa in b'nei Brak. Be'echad shemoicha b'nichsei aviv. A person sold in his father's nechasim. Obviously, it was a karka, umes. Consequently, he died. Uba b'nei mishpacha came along the ears, the eiru loymar, and they were claiming from the lekuchas who were holding on to this land, cotton haya b'shas misa. At the time of his death, he was a cotton, and therefore what? Therefore, his sale was not a good sale. Uba b'sholu es Rabbi Akiva, and they came in es Rabbi Akiva. Mahu lebaytkai. Can we go ahead and dig him up and check it out if he had shtei saros? Can we dig him up and check it out if he had shtei saros? So amalehem, iatem mishoy lenavla. You don't have rishus to be menavol the mace to bring it up. And even if you bring him up, there's no raya because simanim can change after misa. And there's no raya that even if he has it here, it's no raya that it was a maybe it could have been a shuma, it could have been a mole. So okay, so now so the kuchas have it. And ostensibly, they were going to dig up this person and see if he had shtu saros. Good. So now, at this point in time, understanding Rav Nachman, this person died could have been 18 or 20. Right? This person could be 18 or 20. Right now, Bishleim Lamandi Amma ben Shmoina Esri Shana, very good according to Rava. Hainu dikaasi va'amrulei mahu lebaytkai. It would make sense then that to dig him up and be boidik to see if he has shtei saros. Ela I amit mi ben esrim. If you're going to tell me, like you, Rav Huna, Rav Chinina, and Rav Nachman, you go to the age of 20, ki bot gulei my have. If you check it out, who cares? Vatanan ben esrim shalei hevi shtei saros yavi raya shu ben esrim who saros. In other words, at the age of 20, no longer do we. If you didn't bring shtei saros, you're not going to bring shtei saros. It's not going to happen. So, according to you, 20, what are you digging him up for? At this point in time, you consider him. If he doesn't have shtei saros, he's going to be considered a saros. Saros in the chalitza, in English, they call it a eunuch. It means a person who doesn't have masculine secondary sex characteristics, I guess you'd say in the vernacular. So this would be a person. So now, in other words, if you're digging him up at 20, if your chayish is a saris, right? So it wouldn't help. In other words, he's a gadol as it is. In other words, he is a gadol. At this point in time, he's considered a gadol. Okay, let's see Rashban, guys. If you're not going to go ahead and find shtaris on this 18-year-old guy, you'll still consider him a cotton ad esrim. Kidim fash v'yaz, as we'll explain. V'dafka le'inyan limcha b'nichsei aviv tarti binin. Dafka le'inyan nichsei aviv, do you need two things? Shmoyne esrei shonim usaros. Aval le'inyan einshim. Now Rabbi Shpamis, guys, is answering your question. You're sitting here saying, Rabbi Stern, you're destroying my whole youth. I thought today I am a man. So Rashbam is coming to answer that. Aval le'inyan einshim umitzvus mi ben yud gimel choshev gadol im hevi sarais. Okay, again. So this whole dialogue about 18 and sarais is the inyan mechira. Well, the inyan chiyuv mitzvus, the inyan einshim, you're a baroinish from what? From 13 and bringing sarais. So that's guys. That is what? That is if he's 18 and brings sarais. So you can check it out. However, if he's 20, yaviu raya. Says the Rashbam. We have a lot of time to the Rashbam tonight, guys. The Raya, Kroive Almana. Again, if he's a Saris fellas, then she does not fall to Chalitza or Yibum. If your man gets married and his brother turns out to be a Saris, there is no Chalitza or Yibum. So that's not going to mean an halacha. So Kroive Ha'almana, the relatives of the Almana, Kedei Lepotru Mizeh Hayavam La'atira L'Shuk B'Loi Chalitza V'Yibum. That's what. Let them bring a raya that he's a saris, and then what? He be clear. V'hu asaris, v'hu v'harihu saris, v'loi chaylis lemiyabim kidama biyavamis like harina bei lahakim laachiv shein v'chol shein oil liyib mein oil chalitza. Alma, what do you see? Here's the kasha. Alma mi ben esrim ve'elich afagav loy isi saris kigadol mechaskinan lei umpneishu saris loy isi saris. In other words, at the age of 20, you don't care about saris anymore. At the age of 20. He's a gadol. Why would you check for saris? That's le'inyan yibum chalitza. You are checking over here for what? For mechira. Le'inyan mechira. If it's 20 years old, avada is a gadol. Guys, avada he's a gadol. Avada is a gadol. Le'inyan mechira without shtei saris. That's the kasha. Again, we have 18 or 20. Which shtei saris? Says Rav Nachman 20. Says Rav Huna Rav Chinana 18. Says Rav Huna Rav Chinana 20. Freg the Gemara, Bishleim man number 18. Good, you have to be Shtei Saris, right? But 20, all right, once by 20, we know the Inyan being the Inyan Yibum Chalitza, even without Shtei Saris, you're considered a Gadol. What's the Raya of Usaris? Good. So Freg the Gemara Kasha, Freg the Gemara, how according to Rav Huna Rav Chinana, what are you checking? What are you checking out? What are you checking out? So, and for the Gemara, says the Gemara, Lav Itmar Allah. Do we not learn on this Mishnah? Amar Rav Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak Amar Rav. When we said this din of Gadol 20, that he doesn't bring Shtei Sarais, who shenoldu boy simane saris. He has to be, in addition, he has to have other simanim of being a saris. I guess his voice, other. It's not enough not to have sarais. It's that as well. In other words, what is Uriah, fellas? Uriah is, even if he doesn't bring Shtei Sarais, so he's a gadol. And the answer is, it's not true. He has to have other simonim as well to be considered a gadol, or to be a saris. He has to have, again, a voice, and he would have to have different things. But lack of a beard. Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying that, again, you thought that he's a saris automatically, so you see he's a gadol without the shtei saris. No, it's not true. In addition to the lack of shtei saris, you need what? These other characteristics. So failure to have these other characteristics would go with an addition of not having saris to be a gadol. But since you can't check that out, you could check out the shtei saris le'inyan mechira. You can't check out he's dead. You can't check out the other things. Okay, so that's the Gemara's teretz. And for the Gemara, the Gemara is going to answer that teretz. Amarava dekanami diktani v'hu asaris. Why do you have to say that? Why do you have to go ahead and say v'hu asaris? What are you saying v'hu asaris? For shmamina v'chilei nodu leisiman asaris. Okay, shmamina. So it's a raya that you have to have the simanim. Now, let's say he doesn't bring the simanim. At which point in time is going to be a saris? V'chilei nodu leisimani saris ad kama. At which point in time? So Tanrab Chia ad roiv shnaisav. That's 36 years. The person's life is 70 years, right? And roiv shnaisav, it would be 36 years. Kiyasel kamed Rav Chia.
So 20 years old, if he doesn't bring anything, and he can't prove he's a service yet.
If you
still considered, he's still
no. He's a gadol he's a gadol at 13. The Indian ancient, you can be a gadol 13. Ostensibly, do you need the raisa? Linyan mechira. Linya Mechira, not the Mechira. That's only Linya Mechira. That's what the Rashban brought above. Yeah. I think I know someone who didn't start shaving till they were like 17. You also? Huh.
Yeah.
What? Don't go there.
17 months.
It's not fair. Don't go there. Okay. Kiasa lekamei de Rav Chia. Okay. Kiasa lekamei, when they would come in front of Rav Chia, and they would ask if what he's a nar, because he didn't bring state service yet until 20. In other words, he had the following. E kachush, if the guy was skinny, on Rav Chia, livrei, go ahead and put on some weight. The ivrei, and he was zaftig, he was hefty. Amalahu Rav Chia would tell him, lichush, go lose some weight. The hani simone zimnin the asi machmas kichushusa, the zimnin the asi machmas briusa. In other words, sometimes they come when you gain weight, and sometimes they come when you lose weight. So in other words, he would check. He would go and tell them that. Now yiboilahu. If he brings teisaris toichsman, kilifnei or kilachasman. In other words, you say 18, it's year 17 to 18. You say 20, year 19 to 20, or no, it's 18 in a day and 20 in a day. The answer is going to be it's 18 in a day and 20 in a day. Okay, that's going to be so. Rava Amar Rav Nachman toichsman kilifnei asman. He says like it's before, and Rava Bar Rav Shila Amar Rav Nachman toichsman kilachasman. For Hada Rava, who said that it's kilachasman, lav befeirishit mar. He didn't hear Rava say it openly. Elam mechlala itmar. There was a Maisa that happened, and as a result of the Maisa, they inferred that Rava said it must be what kilachah. What was the Maisa? The Hahu, right? Toichasman. There was this kid, Toichasman. Let's say, according to Rava, he was 18. He was 17. He was 17. His year 17 of his life. The Azal Zavin ben Nichsei. He went ahead and sold his father's property. The Asal Kamei the Rava, and they brought him in front of Rava for din. Amaluchu Rava loyasib leklum. Right? You didn't do anything. Why? Because since you're not 18 yet, right, then your sale is not a sale. Man dechaza, the one who saw this, Sava Mishum de Toichazman, Kilifnei Azman. That the one who saw it felt that before Toichazman is Kilifnei Azman. So therefore, they ascertained that he must hold that what it's Kilifnei Azman, and therefore it's not a good sale. But it's not really true. Hasam Shetusa Yisei Rechazibei. Rava saw that this guy was a real shaita. He saw he did a stupid thing. What did he do? He went ahead and he was meshachra his eved. And in other words, there's no reason for him to meshachra his eved. And therefore, since he did a foolish thing, obviously he doesn't understand business. And therefore, that's the reason that Rava, so it could be Rava held that Lifnei Azman is Kala Achazman. But the reason over here that he did away with the sale was because the guy proved to be he was a fool. Now the question is he a fool in everything or only in this business? So here we have a machloikas. In other words, just because he freed his eved, one eved, right? The Gemara says that who's a fool? Someone who goes out. The Gemara in Chagiga says a person who goes out alone at night. Goes out alone at night. But the Inya Mekach Memka, we see that while he goes ahead and his money, he goes ahead and scatters all his money, then his sale is not a good sale. So when it says over here he was a shaita, it doesn't mean he was a shaita in everything. It meant he was a shaita in this specific instance. However, the reverse has a girsa over here that he feed all of the avodim, not just one eved, guys, but he feed all of the avodim, meaning he's a shaita in everything. So that would be nafkaminas in halacha regarding this. Okay, that would be nafkamina. Okay, so we have no raya whether he holds mitochasman lachasman. Says the Gemara, Shalach le Gidl bar Menashe l'Rava. So Rav Gidl bar Menashe sent the following shayla l'Rava. Yilmadein Rabbeinu, I'm asked to teach us. Tinoikis bas arba. This is what was quoted on the Amid Aleph, the Rashbam. Tinoikis bas arba esri shana v'yayim echad. Shayodas betiv masumata. she's 14 and a day. She's 14 and a day. And she understands business great. If she sells the land, what's the din? Good. So Shalach Rabbi sent back to Rav Gidol, Im Yoidas B'tiv Masu Mata, Mecha Mekach. It's a good sale. It's a good purchase, a good purchase. Umemkar Memkar, and a sale is a good sale. Why? Because she understands. She understands. For the Shalach Le Tinoik, why did Rav Gidol Bar Menashe send about a girl? Why not send about a Tinoik, about a young boy? Says the Gemara, Maisa Shahoya Kachoya. That was the Maisa. Maisa Shahoya Kachoya. Fred the Gemara, Shalach Le Tinoik is pas Shteim Eser Shon of Yom Echad. Says Gemara, Maisa Shahoya Kachoya. Guys, let's go over the Gemara outside the Gemara. When is this 18 and 20? When's this 18 and 20? That's if the person doesn't understand business. If the person understands business, even a 12-year-old, even a 13-year-old, it's a good sale. This whole Gemara that was saying 18 and 20, that's the minimum, that's the max that we'll give him a waiver. After that, even if he doesn't understand business, his sale will be a good sale. If the kid is, you have these kids who have savvy, you have these kids who, remember these kids playing ball and the guy selling the sodas at the game. You know, this guy selling the sodas at the game, those are the guys that, oh, I remember him. And now you hear you're all smiling because these are guys, these are the rich guys. They were always businessmen. So these guys, again, it makes a lot of sense. Why shouldn't their sale be a good sale? If it depends upon your chachma, if it depends upon, of course it's a good sale. And that's what this Maisa is saying. The Maisa happened to be a 14-year-old girl, but she understood everything. Says Rava, sale's a good sale. Ask about a boy, that wasn't the Maisa. Ask about a younger girl, that wasn't the Maisa. Hastus, Kenny Teich, Hastus, that what? That if in fact it was a younger person who would understand, then it would be a good sale. Then it would be, that's the Nakuda in this Gemara. So the 18 and 20 is the max when you don't understand. But if you understand, it's even an earlier age. Okay? Now the Gemara, let's take out the next few words. Says the Gemara, there's this Maisa with a Yasam, Pachas ben Esrim, he was less than 20. The Zabels, according to Rava, 18. Again, and this was the question anyway. Pachas ben Esrim, the Azal Zavin Nechse, he went and sold in a Chasam. Avua Kegidul Bar Menashe, and in the Chazaka that he was he knew what he was doing. Asal Kamei de Rava, he came in front of Rava, right? He came in front of Rava. He wanted to go back on the deal. Omule Kroive. Now the Kroivim gave him advice. They told this Yasam an advice. Zil Echel Tamre, go eat some dates. V'shadei bei kashishasa bei Rava. When you get to Rava's house, go ahead and throw the pits over there in front of Rava, and Rava will see that Rava will see that you're foolish, and therefore he'll say that sale is void. Okay. So Abid Hachi, the kid Taka did that. He went ahead and he ate the dates and he threw them out. And so Rabbi said to Lakuchis, Zavine lav Zavine. His sale's not a sale. His sale's not a sale. Why? Because he's a shaita. So in business. So Ama kakos v'leishtara. Now, when kikos v'leishtara, what was happening? They were writing up a shtar that he had been victorious. In other words, he's taking it back from the Lakuchas, correct? So they're writing up a shtar saying that the sale is null and void. Good. Now these Lakuchas, they were pretty wise, very Jewish guys, as you're going to see in a second. Okay, ki kakas v'lu shtara, as they were writing up the shtar to go ahead and give the property back to the kid. Omule Lakuchas, the Lakuchas said to the kid, to the Yasim, Zil emule Rava, go tell Rava, 1 second. Megillus Esther Bezusa, Shtara Demar Bezusa. A Megillus Esther, which is an expensive item, is a zuz. And this shtar is a zuz. Right? In other words, it should be much less. It should be much less. So Azol, Amalei, he went and he told Rava this. So Amalu Rava told him, the sale's a good sale. In other words, the Lakuchas basically messed them up, right? They tricked him, right? So Amrulei Kroive, the Kroivim of this Yasam said, 1 second, Lukuchas Agmarua. He said, I told Rava that 1 second, he's like Yasim, he's a little kid. You know why he said this? The Lukuchas told him to say it. So Rava said, Masbrile savar. If they understood that he understood, keeping the masbrile, the savar made the yada. In other words, you're not going to go ahead and tell somebody something they don't understand. If he understood this and said it, obviously he does know. Why did he go ahead and shoot the date pits at me? He had chutzpah yisera. So therefore, the sale, he reverted his psak and he said the sale is a good sale. Amrav Huna Brei Yeshua. Will Edis, Edusay Edis, from the 13 years and a day, even if they don't know business, right? As long as they're not a shaita, the Edis is a good Edis. Guys, this is a very, very important Gemara. It's setting guidelines. In other words, the whole conversation over here, again, it's all because up until what age do they get a waiver of not knowing business? It's either 18 or 20. Well, the Indian other things, as long as you're not a shaita, at the age of 13 and a day, you're a man. So therefore, you believe. You would be considered an aid. Some mazutra, like Amran Ella limitatli. It's only aidis metatalin, because that sale will be a good sale. Aval aidis lemakarkoloi, until they understand the aidis karka not, until they're able to understand, or until they reach 20 years old. Guys, that mean Afghan. Guys, again, if they understand before 20, if they don't understand 20, but that's all. But if that's only mini metatlin, so Amalei Ravashi Mazutra, he told Mazutra 1 second, Maishna metatli that the Adis is a good Adis. Why? Because the Zvina is Zvina, because their sale is a good sale. El Meyata Hadit Nan Hapuotais. So therefore, over here by Amalei Ravashi Mazutra, Maishna metatli, that's good Adis. The Zvina is Zvina, that Mechiris metatlin is Chal. El Meyata Hadit nan hapuutais mechan mecha umimcha mimcha b'metaltalin hachanami de'sin edis. As we said in the Amid Aleph, the Rabbi made a takana that the sales of little kids at the age of 6 or 7 is a good sale. You're going to tell me since their sales is a good sale, they're kashla edis? In other words, if your whole criteria is that the kashla edis metaltalin is because the sales is a good sale, 1 second, I have little kids at 6 or 7 that the sales is a good sale. You're going to tell me the kashla edis? Obviously not. So Amalei Masush said Ravashi. Hasan by Edis, Be'ina v'amdu shnei anashim v'leka. You need shnei anashim v'leka, and less than 13 or less than 12, a woman's plus latest, 13, like nikra ish. You're not called the ish. Al Edis atzma karka that they're not pekim, that you need expertise in. Okay. Amar meira. Umar bar nasa bar matana. So no, let's go through what we have so far. If they understand business, 13 in a day. If they don't understand business, machlokes 18 or 20, 18 or 20, right? That's my mecha. Linyan edis, 13 in a day. Nothing to do with what? With, okay, now, Amra Mema, Umat Nasai, what about a matana from a person who is 13 in a day? Matana, it's a good matana. Even if he doesn't understand business, it's a good matana. So even though if you sell karka, it won't be a good sale. If he gives what? A gift, it will be a good gift. Some Rashi Lamema, Hashta, have a kalvachaymer that it shouldn't be a good sale. Uma Zvina, the Mekabel Zuze, where he's getting money. Amit, Deloy, why? Because Dilma Moisel Umazavein, maybe he'll sell it for cheap. Maybe why isn't it a good sale? Because maybe he'll under estimate exactly what it's worth. And therefore, so that's the case. Kol shekei matana v'leimotile v'leimidi. That it shouldn't be a good thing. He's not getting anything. He's not getting anything. In other words, madach, where what? He gets some money. Nonetheless, we will avoid the sale because maybe he underestimated how much it's worth, right? Matana, where he gets nothing, it should certainly not be good. So Rav Ashi's claiming it depends upon what? Depends upon what the return, right? Whether you lose or not. So Amalesa, Meme told Rav Ashi, Amin Aleph, Meme told Rav Ashi, Ulataimech, according to you, Rav Ashi, that what? According to your Shita, that it depends upon what? Whether you made a profit or not. Zavne Shave Chamisha Beshisha, Hachanami Desvin. You're going to tell me what? If he makes a sale that he makes money on, you can tell me it's a good sale. In other words, if he doesn't understand business, then the sale, even if he makes a profit, is not a good business. Rashbam goes, the Taisa speaks about what about I know over here. So in another karka, right? Okay, in the bekarka. So anyway, so that's the kasha that's the kasha that Amem is told Rav Ashi. According to you, Rav Ashi, that it depends upon what how much you profit. What happens if he makes a profit? It's still not a good sale. Ella, what do you have to say? You have to say the Kimlu Rabbanon, the Inuka Mikarva Daite Gabe Zuse. You know what? The sale is not a good sale because the kid is shake the pushka, and that's what it is. V'yamid zvine, what's going to happen? Zimna de Mikakra Shile Zuze. You go ahead, you'll take a pushka, you'll shake it up, the kid will hear the things. Ozl Mazvin Lekule Nichse Davu will sell everything for what? In other words, you can fool him. You can fool him. But that's by the sale. Avagavi matana, he loved the havile anomine, unless he had enough from the other person he's giving the matana to, lehavi yavle matana. So he wants to say it's a good in achinami, as long as he's 13, it would be a good matana. So I'm rabbanon shetahavi matana of the lumili, that the matana should be a good matana, that in the future they should go ahead and continue to do well for these kids. Okay, Bez Hashem, tomorrow morning, we're going to say tomorrow morning at probably 9:15. We'll say share about 9:15, okay? Bez Hashem.